G'day everyone, just doing a little painting thing, decided why not. So what I've got here is some Boeing Grot Bowsers, just painting them up. Majority of it's going to be in contrast, so paints. So I've done a grey sear undercoat, so for any fix-ups we're just going to use the grey sear. Black, because I'm going to cheat, I'm just using some black Templar. For the squigs, I've decided Blood Angel Red. I've got 15 that I plan to do and then another 10, so after I've done the 15 on the Blood Angel, the other 10, if I get a chance to do it tonight, will be in Flesh Terror, just to give it a bit of variety. The Lancers will be in Winewood. Teeth, if we get that far, be Skeleton Horde. Metal will be Leadbatcher, and probably an Agrath Shade Undercoat, or Shade, sorry. And the flesh I've decided we're going to go with Plague Bearer flesh. So that's my plan for tonight. See how far we get. This is just a bit of fun. Nothing really to be too concerned about. I don't really have a topic. So if anyone wants to say anything in the chat, just go right ahead. Otherwise, I'll just keep painting. Only thing I could say was contrast is sometimes you get a little bit of whiteness at the bottom here. This one hasn't got it because I only used it the other day. But if you do, give them a really good shake. Still give it a good shake anyway, but you want just to really, really shake it. Alright. So straight out of the pot, then we have this one on. So we just give it a good coating, just using a medium. Any mistakes, we can fix it up later. Not that worried. What I find with contrast is I was a bit hesitant when they first came out. These days, not so much. They have their uses. I like to use my contrast in with my classic paints. So if I'm going to highlight this, I might do a highlight of Tuscarora Fur or Wild Rider Red, something like that. You know. So this is just a quick cheeky way of doing it. If you don't have this colour, Mephiston Red will be just as good, or Corm Red if you want to go a bit darker. It's up to you. But this is just so you can essentially get it onto the table and people go, whoa, you put some effort into this. But this is not the be-all to end-all. One thing I have noticed with contrast is it likes to pull in the groove, which is good. But make sure that you get all the spots that are the grey sear coming through. Occasionally I find that I sometimes miss it. It's an easy fix to either, if you notice it while you're painting, to go back over it, or if it dries and then you notice it, just do something I like to call spot painting. So you just get yourself a small brush and just dab it more than anything. And I find that if you don't get it before it dries, it seems to do like shades do. They sometimes like to do a little bit of a join. Not always, but sometimes. Depends on the model and that. The other thing I have found is on little models like these, contrast seems to work well, but when you start doing the big monsters, it just starts to stretch, I guess is the word to use. The paint, it doesn't like being stretched. You either got to sort of coat, one way I'll put it is throw the bottle onto it. But yeah. But like I say, it doesn't like being stretched. It likes a lot of it on there. So I'm going to go red along the lips because what I'll do later is I'll get some, what is it? Yeah, some the Flesh paint, the Canahan I think it is, and Kez, and I'll just go over that and brighten it up in that. But I sort of want to make it look like that it's been exposed to the sun, so the lips have dried out a little bit, but not too much. One thing you always hear about contrasts is you got to treat them like a bit like a wash sometimes. I sort of agree there. You just got to let it dry out. Thankfully, living in Queensland in the summertime, sometimes it takes probably 5-10 minutes. But on average, you try and give it a good half an hour. And also, if you make any mistakes, let it dry, and then come in with your Gracia like I'll do later. If you're using Rathbone, use Rathbone. If you're using a different one, just use whatever. Your undercoaters. I'm just using the Gracia because I want these guys to be a little bit darker. Especially when I'm doing these goblins. Yeah. Like I said, I've got a little bit on the teeth and unfortunately a little bit on the goblin. I have noticed that if you're using a lighter colour, it's not so bad. Especially if you're using a light contrast, and then you're going to use Black Templar. You can normally get over the top of it with some Black Templar, and it's not going to do anything to it. It's not going to show through. But if you do two dark ones, like the Flesh Tear and the Black Templar together, it doesn't like it. So yeah, so you just got to be mindful. There's probably a better way of painting these guys. The only problem is where the goblins got its. See, so you can see it. It's probably not the best picture, unfortunately, but where the goblins hooked onto down here, is sort of, it's got to be there before you can put the face on. Maybe further bit away you can see. So yeah, so where he's got his hand there, that's actually underneath the face. So unless you have the face separate, and then you paint the goblin first and then do it, probably be easier. But since I'm only just doing these quickly, not too much of a rush, because I've got all the time in the world. These are just a little bit of a fun project. I'll just tidy it up back later and get stuck into it. Reasons why I like doing these are this is one of those first models I ever got. I've got a Chieftain on Squig in the old metal range, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for them. Orcs were my first army as well. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Orcs were my first army. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hoping I can get a few of these guys done before there's a tournament up in Rocky. See how we go. Otherwise, I've got my Nighthaunt I can bring. After a few plays with the Nighthaunt, they're really lacking, I have noticed. And I'm hoping the point changes in this GHB that will be out next Saturday might fix them. I think half their problem is that their points aren't right on some of their models. Not all, I admit. Some of them are priced right. For instance, the Reapers are far too expensive. One thing that I've always asked for is that GW separates the points between all the undead factions and Legion. Because the problem with death is that when you start combining other death units, things happen that I don't think they expect. But you put them in the Legion army, they do really, really well compared to a Nighthaunt army where they do okay. They're not 100% brilliant, but they do their job. And then they go, oh, well, we'll just bump their points up because they do really well in Legion. But then you break Nighthaunt. So I am hoping they'll fix that. MoonClan, I'm hoping will be my army for next year. See what happens. Unfortunately, I like to bring armies where the chance of them getting top tier is impossible. I mean, I've got my Tzeentch that I can bring, but when you bring Tzeentch and just go, okay, I win the game, thanks very much, where's the fun in that? There's no fun in that. But when you bring an army where you actually have to think about how to play, you know, I think that's the way to go. There'll be people who'll disagree with me there, that's fair enough. But I think that makes it more fun for myself if I bring armies that don't have a chance in hell. Oop. Too much there. It's alright, we'll move it around. Yeah. If anyone's on watching, post in the comments and let me know what you're painting, building. Doesn't have to be Age of Sigmar, it can be 40k, because I know 40k is just around the bend. Lots of people getting excited for that. Yeah, just see what you're doing on a Saturday night. Normally when I'm painting these, I whack on a movie or something like that, give me something to listen to. Or lately I've been listening to the new, was it Frank Poliski and the Tiberian Sons? Give me something to listen to if you're an old CNC fan. Get you all revved up for that. So. So for anyone who's just joined in, what I'm painting at the moment is some Moingrot Bounders and I'm just using contrast, so I'm using Bud Angel Red. I find that contrast works well on little ones, so because I've got a few of these suckers to do, I just thought, well, might as well pull out the contrast and get stuck into it. So if it does well and people want to join in, let me know, because all I have to do then is just whack on some headphones, so that way you can join me in the chat. I should have got my mobile phone, so if anyone messages me saying they want to join in, so I might do that in a sec. Left it in the kitchen. You can put it on charge actually, so you just give it a bit of charge. We'll just have a quick look, see if anyone put anything. No messages there. Oh, Poxwalkers, James, eh? So you're building a? Is it just going to be Nurgle, or is it the what are they? Death Guard. Yeah, I've got Death Guard too. Unfortunately, I haven't really done any more than just paint them. Build them. Got my Space Marines. I've done a little bit on them, but more Thousand Suns. So unfortunately, that's my 40k army at this time being. I'm hoping with the new edition, I'll finally get stuck into them and get them painted up myself. Yeah, I know that. G'day, Julius. How are you going? So, getting through it slowly. Back it up a bit. Also move the pot out of the way. Yeah, so just using some contrast on these guys. They're coming out pretty well. I was just saying earlier, I reckon the smaller the models are when you use the contrast, they seem to come out a lot better. That's just a personal opinion on my part. You might agree or disagree. I have noticed that when you do bigger ones with contrast, it seems to just stretch the paint out. It doesn't like being stretched. So, yeah. So have you guys ever used contrast, or are you just more of a classic? G'day, Chet. I'll have to get down to Bundaberg one day. Catch up with you guys down there. Been forever. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Well, what I like to do with cheating, if I can get away with it, is if I've got Mephisto spray, I'll put that on and then I whack a coat of this over the top of it. And that's a bit of a cheating way. But I don't have any Mephisto spray at the moment, so... Yeah. So what are you painting, Chet? Barrack. Is that the... That's not the one with the KO combined fire slays, is it? That is the one that's combined, isn't it? From memory. Oh, it's every Durandon. Oh, yeah. Yeah, had a mate who was going to do a bit of a fire slay combined one, but then his lizards came out and he just went lizard nuts, so... Oh, nice. Yeah, he was a little bit disappointed they didn't get a bit of a Slaves to Darkness treatment on some of their models. But he's loving the rules. And I think he's close to 2,000 points now. So he's trying to get them ready for tournament up in Rocky. And I think it's about 2 weeks' time. So it's the 19th, I believe, from memory. So... In case anyone's wondering, Gladstone's also running a 2-day Age of Sigma one out of Uralic Sports Club here. That's the 12th and 13th. And then we've got a 40k 9th edition one that's in November. That's oh yeah, I've been running them for a while. Yeah, 12th and 13th for the Age of Sigma at the Urella Sports Club. So it's aircon and there's accommodation there, so it makes it easy. And then the 40k one is 14th and 15th in November. So yeah, with the ones here, it's a little bit smaller, I think, because people don't really want to, from the southeast, don't want to travel up here. But I'm hoping that this year we might get a few people. I'm in touch with Gabriel, who's the Queensland coordinator for Age of Sigma, and he's been talking to, as he calls us, the North Queensland boys. So hopefully he will be trying to push to get them up here and encourage them. But we'll see what happens. Like I say, we've got a venue that's aircon, there's accommodation there, food is there as well. If you like your alcohol, well, there's plenty of it there too, so you can't complain about that. Yeah. So got a good partnership with Urella. We were meant to have the 40k one in March, but unfortunately, with the restrictions that happened, prevented it from going ahead. But what can you do? It's just part of life. Now everything getting back to normal. You can get back into gaming again. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Just trying to think of what else now to talk about. Yeah, for those who have joined in on my previous videos, you can see I've got a little bit of a better camera now. So you can actually see, it's still a bit blurry, but hey, it's better than me being fogged. Age of Sigma players, there's probably, I reckon about 8, maybe 10 here. It did take a little bit longer to catch on. I think especially with AOS2 dropping it, a lot of people jumped on board after that. I think half the issue was the stigma of AOS1. Made everyone sort of reluctant. And then Rocky, there's 2 clubs up there. There was one that was very heavily Age of Sigma based. Probably, I think pretty much everyone out of their club did play Age of Sigma. But, there must be, just trying to think how many people there were in their club. There'd probably be nearly half a dozen who play Age of Sigma and Rocky. And the other club that was at one time only exclusively 40k, they've now jumped over to AOS. And so I think there's probably 3 or 4 there in Rocky. So But again, there's a lot more people in Rocky than here in Gladstone, so there's gonna be plenty of people. They'll have the numbers. Yeah. I know a lot of the Rocky boys, they'll go down to Brisbane for tournaments. So that's why they're trying to really push for the Southeast boys to come up here. Especially since they've got all the contacts. I know they're friends with some Mango Mafia. Yeah. I'm just a very small fish in a big pond, especially when it comes to doing these sort of videos. But I just thought I'll do something a bit different for tonight. Like I say, if anyone ever wants to jump on and join me in the chat and have a bit of a talkie, you can. What's going on here? Mouse is playing up. Yeah. Yeah, all we need is microphone. If we can see your pretty face, it helps too. But yeah, just jump on and we'll talk. Normally we have a topic, whether it's 40k or Age of Sigmar. The mouse is playing up now. There we go. I'll fix it. Technology. Great when it works and sucks when it doesn't. There we go. Yeah. Don't know what's doing me. Yeah, so if anyone ever wants to pop on, you don't have to download anything. All I do is send you a link and you just join me in the stream. Pretty easy, pretty quick. Yes, thank you for telling me. Yeah, so wherever you are, how many Age of Sigmar players? I think Chet, you're still on. I think it might be still you, who's my only viewer. How many Age of Sigmar players are in Bundaberg? Because I know there's a few. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's understandable. Well, if you ever do get a mic and you want to join, let me know. I'm always after meeting new people on the and you just discuss what your experiences and your travels and stuff. Oh, OBR. Yeah. I've never actually had a bad experience against OBR. Everyone else has. But Deepkin, I had a bad experience a few weeks ago. But I think that's because the bloke didn't know how to play his army, and it was just he was very, very slow the whole game. I know a lot of people. What is it they do? The OBR player I know of, he brings Nagash so he gets that 2-up save and pretty much destroys everybody. I've seen people look at bringing in a Nagash and Arkin as well in an OBR list, which I could see as a very fatal combination. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So do you have any other systems you play down there, or is it just the Age of Sigmar 40k? I know you guys play a lot of other different systems down there. Yeah, OBR, if you've got a player who's more there for fun, they're good ones to go up against. But if you've got one of those players who just know, I'm just going to want to wreck you, it's not a fun experience. Yeah. Yeah, well, like I say, I've got that 40k tournament in November, so I'm hoping we can get some of your guys up here for that. Because I know we had guys go down there last year and they had a ball of a time. So, Kill Team, Aiden, who's my co-host on the show, he's looking at doing a little one day a 40k thing as well. Just got to arrange a thing. It'll probably be now, probably next year, because we all know that 9th will be everyone's focus. And we're hoping to have a bit of a 40k show tomorrow. We're just got to wait to hear from him as well, if he's going to be free or not. Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to catch it, I did a Lumineth unboxing yesterday. Didn't go as well as I hoped because the camera, this is the first time I've had the camera. It's, like I say, at least I'm not in the realm of shadow, but it doesn't like movement, unfortunately. So it didn't come out as well, but might look at doing a little bit of lore on the Realm Lords since I've got the book there. But we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, Knights will definitely hog all the attention. That's why I'm just trying to get the Age of Sigmar in September, because especially by November, hopefully a few other armies might get a bit of a birthday by then too. You know, their codexes will be out. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But those new Necrons, they look really, really nice. So, and I know people already said mine for those up here. Yeah, so. Yeah, I reckon that got to be hashish. I don't know if you've seen that meme of the old Chaos Dwarf going UMFs because they've got bigger bull heads than he does. Yeah, I've actually seen the leaked codex to the Necrons. It was up only, it must have been like a couple of hours before it got taken down. The front cover looks all neat and impressive. So the codex is pretty much, I reckon, coming out at the same time or near to it. Yeah, I think it was I don't know if you call them high elves, but the Hells of Teclis and Tyrion, what you're probably going to see is they'll come out. So probably Tyrion's elves will probably be out maybe next year. And then you're going to probably have the reveal of Hashish coming out and, or him, whatever, whoever's the influencing, because their kingdoms are separated and you've got an 8-pointed star there. So you got to think that God's got to have something to do with it. I mean, they could say, oh, it's Zinch being tricky and tricked them, but I hope it's actually the Chaos God of the Chaos Dwarves. Because in fantasy, he got a lot of attention before they got put away. I've got the what was it, 4th edition book in the shed there, and the Forge World one. So yeah, yeah. So I remember them being a actual army. That's how long ago I've been playing this. And then when my brother played it, he got into it and he was Chaos, and that was when Chaos was a unified army. So we'll go back a little bit. Do you guys play Underworlds up there anymore, or is that sort of pitted out? Hmm. Anyone else? Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I know at one stage you guys had it quite big down there. So. Depends how I'm traveling and all that. I might look at when an Underworld's tournament when I'm doing the Age of Sigma here, because I've got the proper official tournament kit. So, and the other thing is, I tell people is if you want to join, I've got all the armies, so everyone's always welcome to play them. Because I quite enjoyed Underworld. I just don't think it got the attention it needed. Whether or not there'll be a fourth season is God only knows. I know they were planning, I think it was 5 years. I think Warcry is probably what's taken over with Underworlds. Oh yeah, even the Nightfall one was good too. The Beastgrave, I can understand they've got to change the mechanics. The Beastgrave, no, sorry, the Night. All right, so Shadespire was just a very basic kit. Then the Nightfall sort of introduced blocking terrain and all that. Now Beastgrave has introduced terrain that'll harm you if you get near it. So I think people go, "Oh, well, this is getting too complicated," but it isn't. When you in the grand scheme of things, it's just you just have to freshen it up, and But if you're playing on like what I plan to do is the older maps, you're using a Nightfall, well then you just let people know, all right, this is Nightfall, this is what it is. If you're on the Beastgrave map, well then it's Beastgrave map, so it's no different if you're playing in the realms. So, well, you got Warcry playing a bit, yeah. And we haven't had too much here. I know we were trying to get into it before the lockdown happened, so now that it's all back, maybe we can get back into it, but I think the momentum's just gone. No. But I know the Rocky blokes, they play it. And there's a bloke here, he wants to get into it, so I've got to get my finger out and finish building the terrain for it. The only thing is, if you ever buy the box set, the starter box set for Warcry, just be careful of the terrain. Because you follow what's in the book, you won't be able to play all the maps. That's the only catch. There's a few sites that will tell you how to build it properly, so then you can use it for all the maps. So there's something if you're ever going to get into it. Buy the kit, which you can still get to. Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if people don't want to buy it, which is 100% understandable. You can't force somebody to buy it just because you want it. But at the same time, if something you're passionate about, you might be able to convince others to do it. That's if you can, myself. Like I say, I've got one bloke, he wants to get into Warcry, so we'll probably look at doing a few games of that. shortly. So I'm just going to sort out because I've got to do 2 different color squeaks. So which one are you? You're that one. Yes, yes you are. Oh yeah, I can imagine that was the shooting. I don't know what the Stormcast ones are like. They're shooting. Someone told me they're quite good as well. I was a bit disappointed when their book came out, though. I have to admit. I was hoping they were going to be a lot better than what they were. I mean, the gunboat, and all that were bumped up, which needed to be done, and make them stronger, make them actually viable, I guess is the word to use. But the Argonaut company, I think they got scared, in my opinion. Because all the negative connotation of it from when they came out, it's like, well, they just shot me off the board. And I do have a KO force, I just haven't used them yet, so I don't know how well they'll go. But I was a bit annoyed the Argonaut company got downgraded to 9-inch shooting. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the one on the Ironclad from memory. That's the only thing I haven't brought yet is an Ironclad. But then it's like my Tzeentch. I need to buy a lot of change for that. Every now and again I borrow a mate's one if I need to bring a demon one. But if I bring Tzeentch, I don't like bringing demons. Because if you bring demons, it's almost an auto win. So that's why I'm hoping with the GHB, I'm happy for them to bump up the points for the demons, but the Arcanites, so that's the Zangors and the Acolytes, I think they need to come down in points so people will take them. I wonder. How can I? Oh, it's the Thunder, is that the cannon? Are you taking them squads of 10 or 15? Or are you doing the max squads? I'm just annoyed with the companies because I've got a few of them. That's all. Okay, yeah, Warcry, right. Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah. 40 damage and Warcry. Phew. I'm going to have a look at their thing, I think. Yeah. That'll be a neat one to take against the monster scenario. So you want to win this monster for your next game? Yes. All right, I'll just shoot it off. Boom. Okay. Yeah. Okay, 5. Yeah. I've been seeing people taking them in I think max or 10s, sometimes 15, just depends. I know people more run the boats these days, especially that now that you can get frigates as battle line, your gunboats are battle line. So, yeah, well, what's the monster missions for them? What happens is not. It depends if you got it set up in the way, but if you have a monster like arena in the middle of your game, if you take care of that monster in that match, then in your next game you'll be able to use that monster. So it's essentially it's like a mercenary. Um, but you just don't see it very much because it's another part of the game that I think might be just a bit too complicated. Yeah, so yeah, but you've got to get the expansion pack. So I think it's Monsters and Mercenaries is the booklet. Don't know if it's still in the GW store, mainly because I don't go hunting for it because I've already got it here. So, but it just takes it up to the next level. So was what rewards you earn. I think is it money? I think from memory. Then you can buy your mercenaries, and they all just last that one match, and then they'll just go back essentially into the vault. So yeah, for someone who hasn't played it, I read on it. But like I say, we'll get it. We'll get people to play it. Hopefully, get them to experience it, see what they think of it. You know, the lockdown did a lot of damage, so we'll see what happens. But like I say, Knights is the main focus, and the tournaments here are my other focus for the wargaming world. Yeah. We need to get the Bundy boys up here one day, or us go down that way and have a little one day, catch up, build the connections up again. You know, meets and greets. Yes, I believe Aiden, he's going to be running that. And I think what his plan is run it and then try and get it all done by November. So then when we have the 40K tournament. I think that's his plan. He's the man that's doing the player pack for it because he knows his 40K much better than I do. That's why I do the AOS because I know my AOS a lot better. So yeah. I said, don't get me wrong, I don't mind 40K. My interests are more the fantasy element, that's all. And I've got a Thousand Suns army. I've got a Space Marine army. So I'll have a few more Space Marines after this month. And then I've got, what else do and I've got a slow building outer army as well coming along. So, but then if I tell you how many fantasy armies I have, I've got a few. Yeah, outer army. Not outer army. Well, I think, wasn't it, they were sort of very much, I'll shoot you from outer space style in my aircrafts. I know they were very heavy on the spacecraft. I think this new edition might fix that up a bit though. It won't be so aircraft dependent. Well, I'm hoping that. Yeah, the old world. Yeah, so I've got all the old fantasy books, every one of them. So from Ogre King and to the dinos and that. So, so it'll be good. See when they come out. I'd like to compare them. I think that's at least maybe another year or two away. Quite friendly, yeah. Yeah, what is it? Because you got, what is it? You got Knights this year. Next year is an option, unless they decide to do third edition Age of Sigma, which I can't see that happening. Just because AOS 2 is doing very well for itself. So, because I know every year they like to try and have their massive launch of something. I know there's a few people waiting for it to come out. Well, I've got a Tomb King army sitting in the cupboard, not getting used, so I like to bring that back out of retirement. I'll have to wait and see. Well, that's it. I could see them keeping AOS 2 for a few years. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the only reason they'll update the edition is if they start, I guess, bloating it would be the word. So I'm just trying to think of how to say it. When you start having too many armies, I think it can start affecting the rules that were written, and I think that's when they need to maybe look doing a relaunch. But the problem with that is then you've got to essentially rewrite everything. So then you got to repeat the whole process again of revamp new war scrolls and all that. But I know with the writer Jarvis, when he had to do it, he got told he had to bring the rules down from whatever they were down to, was it 4 pages? I think he got it down to 6, I think it was, in the end. But 2 of them are really worth worrying about. The core rules are only about 4. And I think the other 2 are all about terrain and that sort of thing, and garrison, which for a KO player is relevant to you. Which I don't know why they never put it in the KO rulebook. I think that was a huge mistake. Yeah, and with Tomb Kings, I hope they'll bring some new models out when they do Old World. Because I really don't like using the Finecast. Yeah. What's that? That's 15 of the suckers done. Oh yeah. For those older players, I'll remember that beer. It was in a White Dwarf issue, actually. Actually, yep, that's it. What else have we got? There's the other 2. Oh, g'day, Tim. Oh, this is just a chat and paint, nothing spectacular. It's just more if anybody wanted to join in on the mic and all that at the time, but if you just want to chat in the comments, that's fine too. So we've gone through Old World and 4th edition and all that with Chet here. So we're back in the thick. I just need to get something. So I'm just painting some Boingot. Sorry, what is it again? Yeah, Boingot Bounders. So yeah. You message me. Yeah. So if anyone's ever interested in joining, I would have to invite you on, mate. That's all. Nice. I mean, if you want to join. Yeah. Oh, Tim, you meant to do it yourself. Come on, mate. Don't get Callum to do it. Is you doing demons or are you going the other way? You're going to Arcanites? Yeah. So the next one I'm just doing on. So I've done Blood Angel Red for 15. Now I'm going to do Flesh Terrors on the other 10 I have. So oh, take us till probably 10 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, this was just a spur of the moment thing. That's why probably people didn't see the notification. But probably going to look at doing this every fortnight or something like that. I'll put in a notification probably a week or so out. So if people want to join in on the chat or if they want to join in on the mic, they can. This is nothing serious. This is just a bit of people talking, especially those people who might be, like Chet, who's from Bundy here. If he ever wants to join in and get a mic and all that, then he can chat to you guys from up in Rocky or Gladstone. We have occasionally the Mackay blokes as well. So it's just a bit of fun and nothing too serious. Yeah. I'm a 1,000 Sun player too, mate. So Magnus did nothing wrong. We all know that. Yeah, well, I think that's our biggest issue is that even though, I mean, you got Brisbane and all that, they're all close by, but sometimes we're sort of out here on our own. And that's the whole point of this channel is to get you guys all bonding together, talking, chatting to each other, so that way you connect. You sort of have an idea who's out there. Because like I said, we're sort of sometimes on our own out here. Yeah. So you excited for ninth, Tim? You ramped up for it? Yeah. Well, I know the Bundy boys, and I think Chick might be able to confirm this, unless it might be different now. But you guys had a bit of ties with Fraser, Coast guys, one stage. I don't know if you guys still have that. You guys still play, or that's not really the case anymore. Oh, I did see you up in Townsville. You actually haven't had a look at the ITC part. I've got Aiden doing the player pack for 40k tournament that's happening in November, so he'll be the man to ask all about it when he gets it done. But he's got a lot more experience in that, so that's why I've given it to him. I've still got to get hold of ITC. I did flick an email, but I think it was the crisis. We didn't have anything. Yeah, it might have been probably before, because yeah, yeah. I know when there was only one store in Bundy, the Bundy guys had a lot to do with with Fraser. Sorry. Um, Obviously, that's probably no longer the case. So that's all right. We'll have Mackay, Bundy, Rocky, and all that to catch up, and we'll form our own little community. I think that's the way to go. So we all support each other, look out for each other. I think, unless they have shut down, it was Good Games. So, Tim, do you do AOS or are you just more 40k? Oh, either Fraser or Harvey Bay shut down. Yeah, I'm not sure which one either. I see. This was when the game store was popular, so I don't know about the game store too much anymore. I will go see what's the name, Grimm's these days. Oh, that's good. Yeah, well, like I say, I want to try and get us going. Aiden, he really wants to push the 40k, especially here in Gladstone. So, and since we've got the venue, Urella Club, so food, accommodation, aircon, you're pretty much set. Oh yeah. Well, like I say, what's my AOS? And even with the 40k, if I know which players are competitive and which ones are there socially, I try and split them up, if that makes sense. Because you can tell who are the ones that are serious and who are just there to have a bit of fun and gossip and chat. Yeah, well, the Empress Hammer has been officially announced, so I've put that up. It's now the, what did I say, 14th? I'll double check for you. It's too late for me to remember. Yeah, 14th and 15th. Yeah. Like I say, you can tell who the social players are and who are there to be serious. I always try and do like a split up, not so that's obvious, but just enough that those who are more there just for fun, they'll play in the group that's fun, and those who are there for social, they want to be serious and want to go for number one prize. I let them play it out. Yeah, I went down there this year actually to CanCon, so for AOS and for Lord of the Rings. So, me and a mate, we drove down there, so we were nuts, but we did it anyway. Yeah, and we had a good time. It's worth going to if you can ever get down to CanCon. It's worth going to. You know, I can't say the boys are 40k because I didn't go down there for 40k, but if you're down there for AOS, they'll make you very warm and welcome. And the guys who run it, so Clint and that. But I know the 40. I think the Age of Sigma. No, yeah, the Age of Sigma. The AOS is bigger down in CanCon than 40k. So, yeah. In fact, the AOS here in Australia is we have the largest event in the world for AOS. So there's a fact if you didn't know it. There was, I think, about over 200 people there for AOS. 220, I think. Something like that. So, yeah. Yeah, and who was it? Yeah, Benedict. I caught him up there, down there too. Actually, don't know if you know him, Tim. He was down there for a different thing. So, but he's with Capricornia tabletop. So, don't know if you know him or not. Yeah, that's the one. Oh yeah, there was a lot. You pretty much had every army of every branch there. And like I said, I got absolutely smashed against Selesh there. Yeah. And great bloke from South Australia. He felt so sorry for me because I brought my Nighthorn. He goes, "Oh, it's great." He had a ball all the time. And after that, we caught up and we had drinks and all that. So he was great. Yeah. So yeah, and I was told him if I ever know he's going to another event, I'm going to grudge him. So, but the funny thing is, I was thinking either bring my Celeste or my Flesh Eater Courts. And I just went, you do realise they're almost the same. So, yeah, but no, there's a pile of different armies there. And like I say, if you ever get a chance, it's worth going down to CanCon. Probably won't be at least for another 4 or 5 years before I'll get down there again. It's just a long way to travel and just a bit of money. That's the problem. So, but if you can get a group of years down there, I think that's the way to do it. You have more fun together. Yeah. Oh, Townsville, yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting thing I find because Cairns is very Age of Sigma. Well, from what I can gather, Townsville is very 40k. It's interesting when, because I asked the bloke who runs the GW store in Cairns because I know him, and he goes, "Yeah, we don't really have a lot to do with the Townsville boys." Oh God, then no Kimball. Yeah, yeah. Well, he's very, very big on the 40k scene. He knows 40k inside and out essentially. Yeah, but I've never actually had a chance to play against Kimball. So. Yeah, that does not surprise me. All right, check. Get you next time. Yeah, well, probably do this last one and then call it a quits anyway. So, I'm doing Gloomspite, so I've got a lot to do. Yeah. Even with contrast as well, it makes it quicker. I'm still taking. It's going to take a while. Yes. I've got. How many I've got? Well, I've done 15 of the squigs, so that's the bodies done. Then I'm going to do teeth and gums and claws, and then rider. So there's probably maybe a week or so of work. Don't get me wrong, yeah, I've got the new Gold Moraz model I've got to build and paint up yet from that wolf set. So, and I did a Lumineth unboxing yesterday, which yeah came out okay, not very. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if you've seen, but there's a really quick video to do horrors with just contrast. So, which is probably how I'm going to do excuse me, half of my army for my demons. So I never went the demon route for the AOS Zinch, which everyone goes, I'm nuts, I should have. But I just didn't want to win all the time. And now that they're even more stronger in this edition, But yeah, I think in 40k they're not as dangerous. So don't get me wrong, they're still going to hurt, but I don't think they've got the same level as the Age of Sigma counterpart. Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, when it comes to painters and all that, you might, if you have your thing that you want to do and you only do it, well, you're just going to stick to it. I guess it's that rule. If it ain't broke, why fix it? But even with contrast, there's some things I won't use it for. I mean, people will say, oh, the metal contrast is okay, especially if you do a dry brush or Nikon compound. But I rather just use Leadbelcher. Yeah. Oh, the Arcanite's got pulled apart. And that was my disappointment because I love my Arcanites. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind my Gaunt Summoner being 80 points and he summons a 200 or 180 point. Pink's on the board. But it's one of those things is, do I really want 3 of them just to really make my opponent hate me? But yeah, I think the Arcanites need a point drop so people will take them. Because I think there's viable lists in there for them. You just need to just drop their points. People will take them. Oh yeah, if he didn't have that demon keyword, no one would take him. I can tell you that now. It's the demon keyword that gives him, because especially that spell he does. I have to double check, but I'm sure they haven't changed it. Where he essentially goes, if you're a Horde army, say goodnight. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know, also the biggest problem is I have with Tzeentch is they neutered some of their battalions because I've got the old book and I absolutely hate it because there was a battalion I always took for my Zangors, and it essentially allowed them to attack in the hero phase, which is really really powerful. But they got rid of that now and just give them a +1 to hit or something like that, which really annoyed me. Just like, you neutered these guys, but you kept them at the same points. Yeah, and their shields are now different too. I haven't actually had a chance to play him with the new rule set. So his old rule set was, I think, spell cast on a 7, and I think it was every 4 up on every model they suffered a mortal wound. Yeah, the shield thing is the thing I hate the most. Those wounds have to be put on that shield. But what about coherency? Oh well, never mind. Yeah, I mean, I know that spell Force Horde had to be neutered though. It was too powerful. Well, the shield thing is the thing that really annoys me. And I can understand why they did it, don't get me wrong. I just don't like it. Oh, yeah. That's it. I mean, it's not like they've only done it to Tzeentch. They've done it to other armies too, so I can sort of get behind it. I mean, if they only did it to Tzeentch, well, I have more to complain about. It's just I love Tzeentch. It's my favourite army. That's why I've got a Tzeentch, and then I've got 1,000 Suns, so... And it's probably the same for you. Yeah. I think people just take, what is it, Law of Change now. Especially if they're going to Law of Change Covenant. 7, 18, and 27, there you go. There's 3 Law of Changes on the field. Yeah. And the other thing is, if you've got the other gods ones too, so you just need to pick up the... What is it? I'm trying to remember the book now. Oh no, oops, have a quick look. What is it called? It's a Chaos book. Maybe in Slay's Diaries. No, I can't find the book I'm after. It's that book that brought them all together. It's the one where the OBR attacked the Spire. Just trying to find it. It's not giving me what I want. Wrath of the Everchosen, that's the one. Yeah. Thank you. I was trying to bring it up on the GW side and I wasn't going to play the game. So, yeah. No, Wrath of the Everchosen. Because I've got Celeste, I've got Gorn, I've got Nurgle, so I never wanted to run it. And I've got RT on too, so. Alright. Well, we might call it a night. I think that'll do it. Why not? Alright. But if you ever want to do a video, Tim, just let me know. Always welcome. And that. If you got something, a topic if you want, or if you want to just join in this paint and build and chat. Hopefully the next one we'll look at doing is the 18th, so it won't be too bad. It'll be, what is it? I think that's when it comes out too. So what I got done, not as much as I hoped actually. It's amazing how time just flies. I'll just bring up the camera, just try to get the red out of my brush. See, I'm going with contrasts. There we go, that's better. Alright, so let's see. So there's what I've done up. I've got these ones which I've just done in a different color. Yeah. I thought I would have got a bit further, but yeah, like I say, time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, so hopefully, probably over the week or so, I'll get all those squigs done. Then I've got some black Templar. That's for the black and the jackets and that. Then I'll have wildwood for their shafts and lances. Gracie will touch it up. Skull and Horde for the teeth. We'll have Screamer Pink for the gums and stuff. Lead Boucher, which we're going to do for the metal. And then we'll go on. There we go. Plague Bearer Flesh. So we'll see how far we get during the week. Yeah. I think the 18th is when, is it when 9th is officially out? Yes, I think it is, isn't it? What's it? No, pre-order, so 25th, so it'll be a week before the 40k will be out. So probably work a bit more on my Gloom Spite. We'll see how far I get over the next 2 weeks. And yeah, we'll go from there. But anyway, yeah, Skull Horde has a lot of uses. It's probably one of their best ones. Black Templar is probably the other one that's highly recommended. I do find that the Wildwood one was also a good one to use, but just not on massive big units or big terrain pieces. It's unless you really throw a big huge cake on. But yeah. But all right, we might as well call it quits. Otherwise, I'll be rambling. And so, anyone who catches this later, I hope you enjoy me just talking. Other than that, you all have a good night, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.